Athens residents are learning more about ballot issues before the November election. OU students are preparing for a rally to support sexual assault survivors. And in sports, Ohio softball continues to change up its coaching staff. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
The Athens County Sheriff's Department is looking for a suspect in the case of a fatal hit and run. Good evening, I'm Taylor Bocelli. Thanks for joining us. After several months, authorities have named a man who allegedly killed a man this summer. The Athens County grand jury indicted 37-year-old John W. Rohr of Clinton, Ohio. Rohr is accused of running over Albany resident Tad Albano and leaving the scene on June 23rd. Albano died days later. The Athens County Sheriff's Department asks you contact them with any information about Rohr's location. Athens community members have a better understanding of the Athens School District tax levy after last night's town hall meeting. Superintendent Tom Gibbs, along with other board members, discussed what school buildings would be rebuilt if the levy is passed, how much the project would cost, and why the renovations are necessary. According to Gibbs, Athens schools are not as safe, technologically up to date, or as accommodating for students as they should be. The League of Women Voters put on the town hall meeting. Co-president of the League, Adrienne Mullenkamp, says the event was not intended to be a debate, but an educational experience for voters.
We knew that the city school district bond issue and tax levy were going to be on the ballot, and we wanted to provide voters an opportunity to learn more about what it was, because it's kind of confusing sometimes about when reading the ballot language about what it actually is and how it came about.
Mullenkamp says many people showed up to the meeting and the members of the school board were able to address many concerns community members had about the proposed levy. The school tax levy will appear on the November ballot. Twitter is one place people go to share their opinions. Many people have gone to social media to voice their thoughts about the recent string of sexual assault reports in Athens. Newswatch reporter Elise Hammond walks us through some of those online reactions.
The community and law enforcement have all been speaking up, tweeting about a string of recent sexual assault reports. Students in Greek life were the first to take a stand by hanging banners. Kristen Hanna tweeted photos in her support saying Ohio Panhellenic is standing up and standing together. The Interfraternity Council tweeted a similar post featuring fraternity houses with banners that read, "Stand with survivors." June says she is a survivor who withdrew from OU because of sexual assault on campus and said in a tweet, "The student body standing together and speaking out makes me so happy, especially in such a bold and powerful way." But as more and more reports came in, the Ohio University Police Department's tweets were trying to show what they are doing to combat the culture. One saying, "Our officers patrol campus on foot, in cars, and on bikes." And another saying that officers are focused on residential areas, and ending the tweet with, "Don't be afraid to call us." Some bars even joined in the conversation, tweeting some photos of their staff saying they are here to help anyone who needs it and to be a safe place for every Bobcat. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Elise Hammond.
Students are prepping for a rally to support survivors of sexual assault. Yesterday, Donkey Coffee hosted a sign-making event for the It's On Us rally. The message they want to convey is this: be a better bystander and no victim of assault should stand alone. Rally organizers seniors Cody Shanklin and Mallory Golsky brought poster boards and art supplies. They worked in the coffee shop for 3 hours. They encourage anyone who didn't come and make a sign to make one before the rally tomorrow night. It's On Us starts at 7:30 tomorrow on College Green. The rally will include student speakers and a march. The route for the march has not been determined. It's On Us is unaffiliated with any clubs and is completely student organized. Survivors will be able to speak freely at the event because the Title IX office exempted it from mandatory reporting. Be sure to tune in to Newswatch this Friday. It will be a special edition of the newscast all about sexual assault in Athens. We'll cover everything from student reactions to what law enforcement is doing. The Newswatch special report will air on Friday at 6:30.
Welcome back to Newswatch Weather Center. I'm your forecaster, Cameron Saliga, and some headlines for you. The flash flood watch has been allowed to cancel as of 5 p.m. and we are going to start to see some dry stretch ahead, and there's the humidity is going to be on the decrease as our dew points start to fall overnight. We'll also see a sunny weekend with a high pressure starting to build in. Right now in Athens, it's humid with a temperature of 70 degrees and breezy with a wind of 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. And right around the area, the temperatures are in the 70s and mid 60s for you up in the central part of Ohio, as there was a cold front that moved through. And the dew points right now in Athens, 58. It was in the 60s earlier today, and we could see where that cold front moved through right by Ripley and Jackson, as there is a very big difference in dew points. Tonight in Athens will be 51, cooler and decreasing humidity with winds coming out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Back to you.
Thanks, Cameron. Looking forward to it. Parent company for Cedar Point Amusement Park Cedar Fair is being fined for safety violations. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration fined the park over $140,000 after an employee was seriously injured falling from the roof of a building in April. According to inspectors, the worker fell through a skylight and landed on a concrete floor. Officials say the park failed to train their employees to recognize the fall hazards while working on the roof. They also did not provide a guardrail or restraint system. Cedar Fair spokesman Tony Clark says the company is reviewing the documents. Drivers are relying too much on vehicle technologies, according to a new AAA study. The study looked at vehicles with advanced driver assistance systems, or ADAS. It found many drivers overestimate the car's technological abilities, such as blind spot monitoring and automatic emergency braking. There's a large potential for good if the technology is used correctly. The study found ADAS technologies can potentially prevent more than 2.7 million crashes, 1.1 million injuries, and nearly 9,500 deaths each year. Drivers just need to make sure they're familiar with the technology.
Make sure you fully understand what your safety technologies are capable of before you rely on them. Get as much information out of the dealership as you possibly can about them, and also do some self-educating.
Asking questions and seeing technology in action can also help familiarize drivers. A county in Ohio has become the first in the state to adopt legislation to add protections to the LGBTQ community, but not everyone supports the decision. Amanda Van Allen reports.
Cheers and applause erupted as Cuyahoga County became the first in the state to adopt legislation that adds protections for folks in the LGBTQ community. The House was packed with people against.
I believe that you should vote against this because of the Bible beliefs that I have. I first heard about this legislation and I was confused. Kind of a red flag went up. I'd heard something called equal protection under the law, and this didn't seem to fit that at all. It seemed like they were going to give favorable treatment to a specific group of people.
And for the legislation.
We see you, we acknowledge you, and you have the same rights and privileges as anyone else.
Our companies benefit in a competitive market when we increase the talent pool. However, here in the county, when we limit the applicant pool by having laws that discriminate, our businesses and our community are the ones that suffer.
Before this was passed, people in the LGBTQ communities could have been fired from their jobs, denied housing, and business owners could turn them away because of their sexual orientation or gender identity.
Some cities already offer protections based on sexual orientation and gender identity. The American Civil Liberties Union would like to see the protections implemented in all 88 counties in Ohio. It was another explosive day in Washington as a third allegation against Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh surfaced. That story and more when Newswatch returns.
Baseball is going fast, but don't get bored on us mid-season now. The playoff picture is starting to develop, and every game that we bring you will have playoff implications. Right now is one of the most exciting times of the fall, which means you can't afford to miss Friday nights with us. Live at 11:30, Gridiron Glory is here for you. And check out our Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages all throughout the week. They're chock full of coverage. So start your weekends with us. And remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights in Gridiron Glory.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see the world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
A third woman is claiming she was a victim of sexual misconduct by Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh. CNN's Phil Mattingly has the latest.
A third accuser threatening to derail the already tenuous prospects of President Trump's Supreme Court nominee.
The details in this declaration are specific, they are shocking, but above all else, they are true. And my client stands behind them 100%.
The allegations from Julie Swetnick, who alleged in a signed affidavit she attended well over 10 parties where she saw Judge Brett Kavanaugh, then in high school, drink excessively at many of these parties and engage in abusive and physically aggressive behavior towards girls. Swetnick also claiming Kavanaugh and others would spike the punch to cause girls to become inebriated and disoriented, so they could then be gang raped in a side room or bedroom. Later adding, I became the victim of one of these gang or train rapes where Mark Judge and Brett Kavanaugh were present. Swetnick does not say they assaulted her or the other girls, and while Swetnick says she's aware of other witnesses who can corroborate her claims, she has not yet identified those witnesses. Kavanaugh immediately denying the new allegations, saying in a statement, "This is ridiculous and from the Twilight Zone. I don't know who this is, and this never happened."
I'm asking you why, in this process, which has been so debased on both sides, why are people who have these serious allegations not going to law enforcement themselves and saying, take a look at this?
Attorneys for Mark Judge, also identified by Swetnick, saying Judge, quote, vehemently denies the allegations contained in the affidavit. The Judiciary Committee Republicans snapping quickly to attention to review and address the allegations, aides say.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
While President Trump, taking a break from meetings at the UN, took aim at Swetnick's attorney, Michael Avenatti.
If you look at this lawyer that just came out, he's a lowlife. He represented Democrats. Nobody ever talks about that. He's a Democrat lawyer. Not a very good one, but he's a Democrat lawyer.
For their part, Democrats are calling for Thursday's hearing, where Kavanaugh and his first accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, will testify, to be suspended.
When the question of credibility is so much in doubt, as it is now, with Judge Kavanaugh, that person should not be sitting on the highest court in the land.
But that hearing will stay on as planned, according to the committee chair.
Tomorrow is very, very important. She's been waiting for 10 days now to appear.
President Trump said at a news conference today all the accusations against Kavanaugh are false. President Trump says a foreign country wants to hurt Republicans in the midterm elections, and it is not Russia. Today, he claimed China is working to interfere in the November races.
Regrettably, we found that China has been attempting to interfere in our upcoming 2018 election, coming up in November, against my administration. They do not want me or us to win because I am the first president ever to challenge China on trade.
President Trump made no mention of Russian interference attempts during his remarks Wednesday. Throughout his time in office, he has repeatedly downplayed Russia's attempts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. According to U.S. intelligence assessments, Russia's actions were actually meant to benefit Trump. New statistics about alcohol-related deaths have been released.
There's the dry stretch ahead, that and more, but first, here's a look at your stocks of local interest.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
I love PBS because at the heart of everything PBS does is education.
I use PBS not only in my home, but also in my classroom.
It's kind of the idea of being the great equalizer for learning and for education.
I'm a lifelong learner, and PBS has always been part of that journey for me.
I love PBS because PBS supports teachers.
They know what works for kids and what's best for kids, and that's why I love PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TVs play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
Welcome back to Newswatch Weather Center. I'm your forecaster, Cameron Saliga. Temperatures outside right now, we see 65 in Newark, 67 in New Lexington, 70 in Athens, and 72 down in Ripley. As you can tell, there was a cold front that has moved through the area where the 70 and the 72 have broken up as the front is starting to move through down in Ripley. As we can tell also by the dew points, there's 58 in Athens, 66 down here in Ripley. It's very humid down here, and we'll see dew points up into the upper 50s and 60s in the middle part of Ohio. Tonight, we'll see temperatures in the low 50s, around 51, with partly cloudy skies. That'll be cooler with decreasing humidity and winds out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your almanac today, 74 year high, and that is right around normal for you. The record is 91, set in 2007. With the low temperature almost a little bit above normal with a record in 1987 of 32 degrees. And for sunrise and sunset, we had 7:19 a.m. and p.m. And for our precip, we have 8/100ths of an inch in the precip category. And at hour by hour tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies at 8 p.m., 63 degrees, 58 by midnight, with partly cloudy skies, and we'll see a drop down to 53 degrees by 6 a.m. to start the day off tomorrow. And we'll see the overnight lows around 51 in New Martinsville, 52 in Marietta, 56 down here in Ripley, and Athens 51, and in the upper 40s in Newark and Columbus with partly cloudy skies overnight. And we'll see for the bus stop forecast tomorrow, it is going to be a very cool one tomorrow with a temperature of 53 degrees. There's a slight chance of rain early in the morning with light winds to start the day off, so you might want to bring a jacket or something for the kids. Tomorrow in Athens, we'll see a temperature up in the upper 60s with some clouds in the area, and we'll start to dry out from this rain with light winds continuing into the daytime tomorrow. We'll see high temperatures tomorrow in the upper 60s for most of the area. Ripley 66, 68 in Athens, 68 in Newark, and 69 in Columbus for you. And our day planner, starting at 8 a.m., we'll see a temperature around 53, partly cloudy, and by 10 a.m., we'll jump up to 57 with partly cloudy skies. And by noon, we'll jump up to 60 with partly cloudy skies again. And here's your 7-day. We'll start to see a cool down, and then it'll start to increase in temperature starting next week. And we'll see a chance of rain on Tuesday for you as we start the work week off. Back to you.
Thanks, Cameron. Over 3 million people died from alcohol consumption in 2016 globally, according to a new report by the World Health Organization. The largest cause of death, 28%, was due to injuries. This was followed by 21% of deaths due to digestive disorders and 19% due to cardiovascular diseases. Reed Binion breaks down the study.
Alcohol. It's legal, it's global, and it's responsible for 1 in 20 deaths worldwide. According to the World Health Organization, more than 3 million people died from alcohol consumption in 2016. Men made up 3/4 of those deaths. Of the estimated 2.3 billion people around the world who drink alcohol, 283 million of them suffer from alcohol-related disorders. A recently published study found no amount of alcohol is good for you. Any benefits from drinking are offset by increased risks for certain cancers and diseases. This is at odds with the long-held belief that moderate drinking has health benefits. Despite members of the World Health Organization declaring the health problems associated with drinking a public health priority, the newest report predicts the number of people who drink alcohol will continue to increase over the next decade. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
Ohio softball has 2 new assistant coaches. Find out their background after the break. Plus, the OHSAA released their Week 5 rankings in football. Find out which teams in our coverage is in prime position for a playoff run next on Newswatch.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
This fall is going fast, but don't get bored on us mid-season now. The playoff picture is starting to develop, and every game that we bring you will have playoff implications. Right now is one of the most exciting times of the fall. Which means you can't afford to miss Friday nights with us. Live at 11:30, Gridiron Glory is here for you.
And check out our Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages all throughout the week. They're chock full of coverage.
So start your weekends with us. And remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights in Gridiron Glory.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
Welcome back. I'm Nick Orsini. Ohio softball has added Garrett Fernall and Ashley Taylor to their staff as assistant coaches. Fernall spent last season at UNC Wilmington, and during his first season in 2017, Fernall led the Seahawks to 35 regular season victories and qualified for the Colonial Athletic Association tournament for the first time in a decade. He began his career in 2013 at the University of Louisiana at Monroe. Ashley Taylor comes to Ohio after 1 year as an assistant coach at Tennessee Tech. Taylor had a successful career at Austin Peay and assisted with multiple duties at Tennessee Tech. The OHSAA released the Week 5 rankings yesterday in our coverage. 8 teams are in position for the playoffs. In Division 2, Region 7, the Tri-Valley Scotties are sitting in the middle of the pack at the 5th seed. In the same division, but Region 8, the Chillicothe Cavaliers are in the 7th position. Moving down to Division 3, Region 11, the Sheridan Generals and Hillsboro Indians are tied for 3rd, while the Athens Bulldogs are in 7th place. Now to Division 6, Region 23. The Southeastern Panthers are 4-1 on the season and sit at the 7th spot. And finally, in Division 7, Region 27, the Trimble Tomcats are the number 3 seed, the Waterford Wildcats are the 7th seed, and the Southern Tornadoes sit in the 8th spot. Let's switch from the gridiron to the diamond. The Cincinnati Reds are slumping. They've lost 4 straight and 5 of their last 6. They welcome the Kansas City Royals for the second-to-last series of their season. The teams were deadlocked at 3 going into the 9th inning before Hunter Dozier led off the inning with a solo homer to give the Royals the lead. Dozier's homer snapped a 0-for-17 hit streak for him. The Reds had runners on first and second with 1 out. They got the bases loaded with star Joey Votto up with 2 outs, but Votto would ground out to second base, and the Royals secured the win 4-3. Doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you finish. Trevor Bauer threw 4 effective innings, but the White Sox overcame a 2-run 9th inning deficit to beat the Indians 5-4 in Chicago. Yohan Moncada led off the 9th with a walk. Adam Engel and Yomar Sanchez followed with the single. Then Daniel Palka singled up the middle, driving in the game-winning runs and walking off with the win. The Indians' postseason is all but locked up. October 5th in Houston for the first game of the divisional series, but Cleveland still has 5 games left on their schedule, including the finale against Chicago tonight at 8:10 p.m. And tune into SportsBeat tomorrow on 1340 AM WOUB. Host Lucas Moore and producer Russ Heltman preview Ohio football's matchup with independent UMass on Parents Weekend. Can the Bobcats recover from their collapse against Cincinnati? Also, Ohio Volleyball's Katie Nelson live in studio to talk about Ohio's 2-0 start in Mid-American Conference play, as well as an Ohio soccer update. Don't miss it. 6 p.m. tomorrow night, 1340 AM WOUB. Well, that is a wrap for sports tonight. I'm Nick Orsini. Let's go back over to Cameron for a final look at weather.
Thank you, Nick. And on your 7-day, you'll see Thursday in the 60s, right around normal. And this weekend, we'll start to see some partly cloudy skies and constant temperatures in the 70s. And by Monday, we'll start to be ramping back up into the upper 70s with a chance of rain here and there on Tuesday. And as we see the day planner, 53 tomorrow to start the day off at 6 or 8 a.m. with partly cloudy skies. And by all the way at noon, we'll be partly cloudy skies at 60 degrees. Back to you, Taylor.
That ends our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Taylor Bocelli. Stay tuned for the PBS News Hour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.